Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Brindon. I'm the Assistant Commissioner of the MIAA, and I'm very excited to be here today with Emma Springer from Calvin. Emma, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much. How are you?
Good. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Emma, and I'm a student at Calvin University. I am a senior this year, and I am studying kinesiology on the pre-physical therapy track, and I play softball.
Obviously, as a senior, you have had plenty of time within the MIAA. Tell me some of your favorite things about competing in this conference and maybe some of your favorite rivalries.
Yeah, for sure. So, specifically softball wise, I think the MIAA is one of the most competitive conferences in the entire country. I stand by that firm. So it's always been super fun, and the games are always high stakes, super competitive, close scoring, and that has made a super fun environment playing softball the past few years. I would say some of my favorite rivalries, obviously, have to mention the Hope Calvin rivalry. That game is always super good. But I would say for Calvin softball, specifically playing Trine is our biggest game of the year.
What makes Division Three special to you? What drew you to D3 specifically?
Yeah, I think what makes D3 so special is that being a student comes first. I know that was something that really drew me in, like right off the bat, as someone who was hoping to become a physical therapist, someone who is needing to go to graduate school and have really good grades for that, but also just be prepared for life beyond college and beyond playing my sport. I knew that D3 would set me up really well for that. Also, just the close knit community of a D3 institution is something that was very attractive to me. Coming from a super small town, I liked the idea of continuing with that close knit community where I knew everybody and would thrive.
I'm sure you're busy between your studies and softball, but what hobbies do you have outside of that?
Yeah, outside of softball, I really love nature. So hiking, camping, things like that, especially with my family. That is something that we've always spent a lot of time doing together and some really great memories, some really good time bonding with each other. So my parents and my sister and I have really enjoyed that for most of my childhood and then even into adulthood now. I also really like to read. I'm a pretty avid reader. Even in the school year when I'm reading stuff for classes, I still enjoy reading for fun and pleasure as well.
Your coach mentioned that you're a huge leader off the field and in the dugout. How would you describe your leadership style and how would you say your teammates respond to your leadership specifically?
I think my style specifically, I definitely bring the energy. And that looks different in depending on the situation, but I'm always like hype woman, picking everybody up, motivating people, pushing them. But I would just say I'm kind of like the Energizer Bunny. Like when we need to pick me up, I'm right there, starting the cheers in the dugout or yelling through a drill, things like that. Whether it's in practice or in games, I just always try to bring that like positive, uplifting energy. I would say my teammates respond really well to that, especially in times when we might be in a lull during a game. Like playing 14 innings can take a lot out of you. And so it's always a good reminder to have that uplifted energy in those middle innings when you're tired and just trying to get through. So I would say they respond really well to that.
Who would you say has helped shape you into the leader that you are today?
Yeah, I think a couple different people come to mind. First and foremost, my mom. She's like my biggest role model in just life in general, but just getting to watch her like lead people in her job. She's a pediatric occupational therapist, and she has been for a really long time. And I've just been able to kind of have that front row seat into her career and just watching her lead others with grace and with kindness and compassion. And so I think that was like my first example of what it meant to be a leader was just watching my mom. But then, like as I got to college, I had a lot of really great people ahead of me in the program that kind of set the bar. I think of people like Hannah Biddlecombe, Kirsten Krause, Callie Yant, some big names in the Calvin softball program history, and getting to watch them lead us and try to emulate the things that they did really well, but also learn from things that our teammates didn't respond to as well. I think just getting to learn from their experiences has been huge for me.
it sounds like you've been accepted into some pretty prestigious graduate programs already. For those who are considering graduate school in the future, how do you even go about making a decision like this?
Oh gosh, yeah. It's a huge decision and like for me anyway, like it's the next 3 years of my life and then my career beyond that. So, yeah, it's a huge decision. I would say the biggest piece of advice that I have is just to make the most of your experience in your undergraduate. Like have a variety of things that you're doing, different leadership positions you're a part of, clubs, extracurriculars. I think when you make the most of those opportunities, then it makes applying and getting accepted into graduate programs a lot easier. I think there's a misconception that it's all about your grades and your test scores, and those are important, obviously. But I would say what is equally as important, if not more, is the variety of experience that you bring to the table. So,
What are your career aspirations as a pre-physical therapy major?
man, yeah, I definitely don't have it all figured out, but I definitely have like some passions and inspirations that are kind of leading me down whatever path that might look like. So when you go to school for physical therapy, you graduate from the graduate school as a general practitioner. So that really means that I can do whatever I want beyond there, but I have always been really passionate about kids, especially kids with disabilities and underserved populations. So I could definitely see myself working with kids with disabilities. But in my job and in my experience here at Calvin, I've worked with more of a general population. So people ranging from 6 months old to 98 years old and everywhere in between. And I've enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I did. So as for like what type of population or what type of PT I want to be, I'm not exactly sure yet. But I do know that I feel called towards helping people, whatever population that looks like. I've always been very passionate about that. So I just hope as a future practitioner that I can help people with whatever they're coming to me for and just to foster an inclusive community that they feel welcome in.
And what inspired you to pursue this profession in the first place?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that one. Like I said, I've always felt called to help people. I think that's probably just genetics, honestly. Um, and then again, like I mentioned, my mom a bit. Just getting to watch her career has been really inspiring. But I think for a long time, it kind of was like, no, I gotta pave my own path. I gotta do something a little different. So I was always thinking healthcare. The biology classes and the sciences were always really interesting to me. But as I was trying to decide on college and what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, I thought about my passions and I thought about my experiences that had gotten me to where I am now, and I realized that PT was really the best option. I was raised alongside my uncle who has pretty severe cognitive delays due to fetal alcohol syndrome, and I just realized that helping special populations like him would just fill my cup every single day. It would give me just a great sense of joy and purpose to be able to help people like him. So physical therapy just really made the most sense for me.
I like closing out each interview with kind of a fun question. If you could meet any famous person, who would you meet?
Oh my gosh, that's such a tough question. I would say, like, for fun, I would love to meet Zendaya. I just think she has such a great vibe. She's always laughing and smiling and joking, and I just have enjoyed watching like her in movies and TV shows. So for fun, I definitely want to meet her. Um, but I'm kind of a history nerd. I get kind of geeked out about that stuff. So I could definitely like see myself wanting to like sit down for a cup of coffee with like Anne Frank or something and just getting to hear her story and her experiences, I think would be really cool.
I love that. Well, Emma, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today, and best of luck to you and your team this season.
Yeah, thank you so much.